The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is a Zelda game I'm sure everyone and their cat has at least heard of before. If not the game itself, you definitely heard or seen stuff from the game. Like, Majora's Mask is crowned by many as the best Zelda game, right next to Ocarina of Time. It's like these two are in a beauty pageant, but look pretty much identical, so they're fighting for first place. I could have just said that last bit and saved time. Majora's Mask is a much more mature game compared to Ocarina. The gameplay loop is as follows. You have 3 days before the moon falls and the world ends. Your main objective is to get the remains of each boss, and once you've got all 4, bring them back to the clock tower on the day of the festival and call upon the, gods that you freed with those remains you possess. But during these 3 days, it's wise and I think even necessary in some instances to go around and help people who have been cursed by Majora and solve their issues and get masked from doing so. Now, you aren't strictly tied down to these 3 days. After the first cycle, you get your Ocarina and are able to play the Song of Time to go back to day 1. You lose most of your items, and if you were in the middle of a dungeon, you lose all your progress besides dungeon items, of course. This mechanic is the reason I and many others put off this game. Again, it's still very popular, but unlike Ocarina, it's not as easy to get into. But one day, I randomly decided, oh boy, I'm gonna stream Majora's Mask and try to get back into it. And it was mostly thanks to my chat that it finally clicked. I found my new favorite Zelda game. But before I get more into that, I said in my Ocarina of Time video that I'd talk more about this game's history, so let's swing right into that. Initially, Majora's Mask was meant to be an add-on for Ocarina of Time on the N64 DD called Zelda Gaiden, Gaiden meaning side story. Well, during development, the dungeon designer, Eiji Aonuma, I think that's how you say his name, I probably completely butchered that, thought that Gaiden was too much like Ocarina of Time and asked Miyamoto if they could spice it up a little, you know, add a little sexiness to the game. And he was like, yeah, sure, whatever, but you only got a year, pal, you better blow my socks off. And Aonuma accepted that challenge, which is a big reason why Majora's Mask reuses a lot of the same assets from Ocarina. Much like Ocarina of Time, this game was eventually ported to a normal cartridge and never released for the N64 DD. Finally, on April 27, 2000, Majora's Mask was unleashed onto Japan, and was released everywhere else by November 17th of the same year. Another fun little fact is initially Majora's Mask was going to have a week cycle instead of a 3-day cycle, but they thought a week was too long, so they shortened it to 3 days. Initial reception of this game, from my understanding, is pretty much the same as it is now. Some people loved it, some people respected it but couldn't get into it themselves, and some people just did not like it. Majora's Mask has, and probably always will be, the mixed bag of the Zelda franchise. But with streamers and Let's Players being big, more people can appreciate the story and art of this game without dealing with the mechanics that make it hard for them to play. So hopefully by the year 2030, the I hate Majora's Mask statement will become unused forever. Majora's Mask story is a very complicated one to tell, so I'm not even going to try and sit here and tell it all. All you really need to know is it begins soon after Ocarina of Time's ending. Link is searching for Navi with Epona when he suddenly gets attacked by this weird guy with a mask. He steals Link's ocarina and horse and runs off with his 2 fairies. We chase after him and it ends with us turning into a Deku Scrub and being stuck with one of his fairies, Tattle, who got left behind and separated from them. Moving forward, you meet with the mask salesman and he tells us that a very precious item was stolen by that kid with the mask. He also drops one of the best lines in fiction. So he asks us to get it back, and in return, he'll help us. You exit the place you met him, and you're now in Clock Town and in a whole new setting called Termina. You do some tasks like get a fairy to revive the Great Fairy, and she grants you with magic. You play hide and seek with some kids, get a moon tier, trade it for some land, and on the 3rd day, before the moon crashes, you meet face to face with Skull Kid. You shoot down the ocarina in his hands with the magic you got from the Great Fairy, and you learn the Song of Time. Going back, you show the mask salesman your instrument, and he teaches you one of the best songs in any piece of media ever. Song of Healing. With this song, you are able to get the mask off and return to human form. The mask salesman asks you where his precious item is, and we didn't get it. He then gives us Shaken Link Syndrome, and we're told that the mask that the kid has holds a great evil that can destroy the world, which explains the moon. So we now have to get back that mask by any means necessary. Love how I said this is all you need to know, and this was a long-ass paragraph of explanation. Anyway, going throughout Termina, as I said earlier, you collect the mask, or as the game calls them, the remains of the bosses you fight. which free the giant gods or whatever they're called in that area and removes the curses put into that area. You free all 4, and on the final day, you can face the Skull Kid once again. The gods stop the moon from falling, but uh-oh, the mask is now alive, and you follow it into the moon to fight it. Holy hell, this is beautiful. Holy hell, this is creepy. If you collected all the masks, you can trade them in with these little salesmen and get the Fierce Deity mask after going through 3 cool trials and 1 trial born from Satan's cockhole. And this mask also is implied to have some sort of dark power, much like Majora's. Wonder what that's all about. Moving on to the Majora fight, it's so much fun. Just using all the knowledge you gain from playing the game is so cool. Unlike the Ganon fight in OOT, where it's easy and very boring, this one's tough and awesome and fun. I genuinely had a hard time beating her. Ignore that. The room you fight her in is also just so damn cool. Also, the only bosses have 3 phases. It's like every good boss idea they had went into this boss. I mean, look at her second phase. She's so silly, and I love it. I'm treating the Eldritch Demon Lord as if she's a cute stuffed animal. Once you beat Majora's final phase, Majora's Wrath, which is badass, you go into the dawn of a new day, and the Masked Salesman drops the best line in fiction. Whenever there is a meeting, a parting is sure to follow. However, that parting need not last forever. Shakespeare wishes. That line has stuck with me ever since I finished this game. It's so good. The game ends with you seeing everyone celebrate and living their glorious lives as Link leaves Terma to do whatever he does next. And now, I want to talk about the moments that really stuck out to me in this game. Starting off with the chicken parade. Talk to this guy at Romani Ranch, and he's sad because he won't get to see his chickens grow before the world ends. And the only way to heal his sorrow is by fulfilling his wishes. Using a mask you get from this guy in Clock Town, you can lead the chickens in a little march, and when you get them all together, they begin to grow. This bit made literally everything click for me. This dumb little moment made me realize this isn't going to be just another video game. I had legitimately never felt that happy while playing a video game, and it is a feeling that I wouldn't feel again until I played Persona 4. But that is not all. And anyone who's ever played this game knows exactly where I'm going next. The Angie and Cafe quest. It's about these 2 lovers who promised to get married the day after the festival, but when Skull Kid showed up, Cafe got cursed by being put into a kid's body. So you gotta go around back and forth with Angie and Cafe to get Angie to stay back in Clocktown and wait for Cafe, but Cafe wants to retrieve the mask he promised to give Angie, the sun mask. On the final day, you go to this little spot in Iconic Canyon and follow Cafe inside. After doing the best puzzle in this entire game, you're able to get the sun mask, and they finally meet and can fulfill each of their promises. Cafe arrives at the place he promised to meet Angie with only 1 hour left on the clock till the world ends. They make their vows and promise to stay with each other till the very end. It's a beautiful moment, and one that so many people point to when bringing up Majora's Mask. But a moment I'm so glad I was not spoiled on or knew anything about was the moment with the daughter and father in Iconic Canyon. If you plan to ever play this game, even if you're iffy on it right now, I beg you, click off this video and come back after you've gotten to experience this moment for yourself. Please. In Iconic Canyon, there is a house being surrounded by Gibdo. Once you play the Song of Storms for the composer in the cave up ahead, they all disappear, and a little girl will come out the hut. Sneak in, and in the basement, hidden in the closet, is a half Gibdo, half man abomination that is crying out, most likely in confusion and or pain. Try to attack it, and the little girl will come down and beg you to stop and to leave the house. Play the Song of Healing, and the mask will come off. The little girl will run downstairs and hug her father. When he asks what he was doing, she just says, "You were having a very bad dream." This is the most beautiful moment in this entire game. Hell, I'd say the entire franchise. I am beyond glad I was able to avoid knowing that this happened, because being able to experience it myself, I don't even know the word to describe it. Amazing? I'll let them have their little time together. Wow, that was... I'm actually crying, holy crap. There are so many more moments in the game that I could talk about. I mean, the quest in the bar where you use all your instruments to do a cover of an old song that the sad guy in the bar used to love, and it like cheers him up. The postman having a panic attack on the floor during the final hours, so committed to his job that he doesn't flee until told that he can by the mayor's wife. Every moment in this game is incredible, except for the last 2 dungeons, but that's just because they're annoying to either get to or get through. But the good moments more than make up for it. But with that, I think it's time I give my closing thoughts. In my Ocarina of Time video, I posed a question of, is this game a masterpiece or is it overrated? And I said that yes, it was overrated, but still incredible. This game, however, I believe is a genuine masterpiece. So many moments that just stick with you. The music is memorable, the areas are memorable, the characters are amazingly written, the story is tragically beautiful, and it all comes together to make a phenomenal game that may have changed how I view gaming as a whole. Before this game, I had never any real interest in truly immersing myself in a game, or talking to NPCs or anything like that. I just go through and do as I was told. Sure, Persona 3 kind of implemented this idea into my head, but this game was the final push that seed needed to sprout in my brain. I cannot recommend this game enough to anyone. It is a genuine masterpiece that I believe everyone should at least try once in their life. With that though, I've got to get back to writing this Persona 3 video. Or I could talk about Minish Cap first.